Alright, let's talk about Nippon Sangoku Episode 3. If you want to see my reaction to it, you can check it out on Patreon. It was a really good episode. Now, I'm not going to talk about for as long as I would other stuff, because there's just a lot of information, so you want to see my full thoughts, you could check out the Patreon for that. But this episode was really good, in that we got to see, what's his name, Sune, Mr. Sune, take his shot at cutting off the legs of Ryumon. Ryumon. Ryumon, the Borderland general. And he failed at that, but then, instead of he let his sword get taken, spun around and kicked the guy, got him to his knee. Which, I mean, fair enough. He got the job, and he did it. He passed. That's what matters. But it was wild, though. And then he, like, apologized, because of course he would, even though I doubt he actually meant it. But Sune is an interesting character, because I didn't cover last episode 2 when we met him, but episode 2 when we met Mr. Sune was interesting in that it's hard to know exactly if I like him or not. But the what I can respect is that we get an inside look to to how he thinks, and he wants to rise up. He wants to change the world with his own hands, which, I mean, fair enough. But that's my thoughts on him so far. I don't have much to say honestly about him. But then it comes our guy, Misumi. He comes up, and instead of trying to use martial arts or something, he offers a proposal, an offering, which is a agricultural policy. Because the goal, and I'm gonna very paraphrase this, they're gonna use abandoned farmland to turn soldiers into farmers as well, and they're gonna farm that farmland in hopes of getting more crops, because they don't have a lot of people in the borderlands, because there's not enough crops to support a large group. And so they have like a whole system, they're going to rotate out and all that. And then I think it's really smart, because the farmers, if they're soldiers, they can defend themselves and their property. And like it's just a really good plan. And turns out, when Ryuman asks why you haven't tried to bring him to his knees, Misumi is like, yo, I don't know martial arts. I can't make you get to your knees like that. And so he was like, and since he realized apparently that he can't do it, that he wasn't going to pass, instead of waiting to give the policy thing, the offering, he gave it up front, because, like, he might as well. Which I think, if that's true, Misumi really is a good guy. Like, he put the policy and all that ahead of himself in that regards. And eventually, though, whoops, shit. And eventually, that happens, and the guy is like, yo, Ryuman is like, yo, I'm gonna get on my knees, and you pass. And it was pretty much that. And then, oh, of course, during the policy reading, the policy offering and all that, the guy, Kaku, he's like speed reading as Misumi's explaining it. I thought that was a pretty fun scene, pretty cool. And I appreciate, honestly, that Ryuman, either he knew what was going on, or he was like, yo, I'll leave this to the expert, my guy, Kaku, who's the expert, and have him go through it. That was cool. It really does show that, like, Ryuman's a good leader, and that he knows what his skills are, and he probably does understand the policy stuff, but that's probably not his, like, area of expertise, per se. It could be, and I could just be reading into this too much, but maybe. Who knows? But then, only 2 people passed out of that, everyone that was showed up there. It was Sune and Misumi. And they're talking, and they're doing their thing while Ryuman and Kaku are talking. And the potential realization comes out that this might have been all part of Misumi's plan to get him to willingly kneel. And the thing is, I don't know if it was or not. Because, like, Misumi's smart. He could have came up with that plan. Or he could have been genuine the whole time, just not realizing he's not going to pass, and just like, okay, I'll give this to him anyways, because I'm not going to pass anyways. But who knows? I don't know how that's going to go. And then finally, I want to talk about the Imperial Court scene, because this passes about 2 years. There's a 2-year time skip to year 99. 99? Yeah, it was 97, I think, and 99, so about 2 years. They're at the Imperial Court, and we learn the Emperor is he doesn't know what he's doing. He's a puppet leader. He's being controlled by Taira, the Lord of State Affairs, or whatever the fuck they're called. And so that happens, and it's just a pure disrespectful scene towards the Emperor, man. I don't even know if I like the Emperor, but like I feel bad for him, man. He's just stuck there essentially, bro. It's just poor guy, man. But we do learn one of the things. Ryuman shows up because remember this is like 2 years later, almost 3. He shows up, and there's been a success by like 1.7 times the number of soldiers now because of the farmer soldier policy upgrade plan thing. And he then we also learn through Ryuman that there's also the what's it called? Sei, Seii. They are they're struggling a lot, bro. And they are and Ryuman suggests now's a good time to attack them. It's wartime, or at least that's what everyone originally thought. But instead, he's like, "Yo, we should seek a treaty with them. We should trade, open up routes, and everything." And it's a good plan because it's not feasible to attack at like in the winter time. It's just not a good idea. They all freeze by the time they get there probably, and then it'd just be walking icicles, which would be funny, but wouldn't be useful for war. And so that happens. We learn that, and then but then Tyra's like, "Yo, no, we're gonna take this to like force." And he sends, and apparently they sent out a missive, which was pretty dangerous, for unconditional surrender, which again pretty dangerous because Ryuman was against that, and he's like, "Yo, if you do this, this could anger them even more, and the last thing we want to come out of this is a dictator emerging." And because like if they can, a dictator could rally the people that are unrest, and like form like a huge thing and do all that jazz. But lo and behold, very end of the episode, what do you know? A dictator emerged, a true dictator emerged, unfortunately, and it's a woman. I mean, she looks really cool. I really like her design a lot, but she that's kind of a problem. But before we get to that, we had gotten to that scene. There was also Taira was like, "Yo, no, you're a coward." He called the dude a coward, which he's far from a coward, man. And Ryuman, in his infinite glory, he bows and begs him to reconsider. He doesn't, unfortunately, but he remains bowing. And while he's bowing, there's unrest from the side that he was on, and they're starting to like do their thing, insult and demand the death penalty of Lord Taira. And Taira's like, "Yo, die," because they offended him. And the Emperor's like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And Taira's like, "They offended me. You're gonna have to replace them." And the Emperor's like, "Yeah, I'm out of here. Peace. I gotta go to the bathroom." And unfortunately, according to him, he already went to the bathroom a little bit. I can't even blame him, honestly. And I do kind of feel bad for the Emperor, man. Poor guy. And he continues to insult, and Taira continues to insult Ryuman at the end there. And then as he's leaving, he's like, "Don't worry, I have no plans of rising further. For now." And that was obvious. He wants to be the Emperor. It's obvious. Like, to anyone watching, it's obvious he wants to be the Emperor so badly. I'm surprised he hasn't tried rising further right this second. But anyways, that happens. And whew, that was an intense scene, though. Like, watching all their heads get cut off and stabbed through the chin. And it was bloody, bro. It was so unfortunate, man. And we also learned that our people got Aoteru, Misumi, and Mr. Sune. They got promoted. And I think I'm not actually sure how they got promoted, or if it's because of it might be because of what they did, obviously, but it felt a little too what's the word? A little too sudden for them to get promoted like pretty quickly after everything that happened. I think they're like replacements for the people that were killed. I don't know for certain. I mean, I'm just glad they got promoted. That Misumi's moving up in the world because he deserves to move up in the world. He's a pretty cool guy. And at the very end of the scene, we saw the dictator emerge and say, I have a feeling she's going to be a problem, especially because we saw her in the opening. And usually, if you see a character in the opening, they're going to be a problem. And she's in the opening. She looks cool. I really love her design. I can't stop talking about it. I really like her design a lot, man. But with that, it was a phenomenal episode. With all that said, and I apologize again for not covering every little thing and talking about like stuff out of order. I just like talking about what I just watched. And I hope you all enjoyed this episode as well. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, the notification bell, leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on the episode, this video, and all that as a whole. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. Also, hype the video in the YouTube mobile app. Helps me out a lot. Discord, Twitter, all that's in the description as well. Is there anything else I want to say? I don't think there is. And yeah, so I will see you all next week for another episode of Nippon Sangoku. But as always, I will see you tomorrow for Witch Hat Atelier. And I'll probably also be doing Kill Blue tomorrow as well. So stick around for that. And I apologize also for the patrons not getting their shoutouts. I have a plan that I'm working on for that to at least make up for that, or at least go forward for now. But anyways, I've rambled on enough. You'll know in a few days. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Until next time, my name is Mark. Never stop being yourself, stay safe, and I will see all you incredible people in the next video.